Hi, I'm Steve Beck, and we're at my house out in the country. Another beautiful day in the country. Maybe we could do some snow angels a little later. But for now, we're out here on the property, mainly because of the complications of COVID. I'm not allowed to be inside anywhere near anyone else. And my condition is a very serious one. 11 months ago, I was diagnosed with glioblastoma, stage 4 cancer of the brain, and it came out of nowhere. I ended up having to go to the hospital because I thought I had the flu. And when I got there, for some crazy reason, they took a CT scan of my brain, and the doctor walked back into the room and shut the door and pulled up a chair and said, "I've got some bad news. And you had a mass in your brain the size of a plum, and it's got to be taken care of immediately." So that's when this whole adventure began, about 11 months ago. And 11 months is kind of a serious number because most people, the median number of people with glioblastoma, only survive 11 months. So hopefully this will be a quick interview. My time is very short, at least by the numbers. Now, God willing, there'll be a miracle, and I'll be around a lot longer than 11 months. The longest person that's ever lived with this is 10 years, so that's my goal. And of course, you can understand that my relationship with my wife and my 31-year-old son has changed since this diagnosis. They've been wonderful. They've been a tremendous support to me, but it has meant kind of a role reversal here at the house. I've gone from being head of the household to being ill, and my wife has had to pick up all the pieces that have broken, and we both lost our jobs due to COVID. She started a new job, started a new company. So right now she's in the throes of starting a new company up. That's a lot of pressure. So she's financially supporting us, and she's my nursemaid. She gets all my medications for me. She drives me to all my appointments. So you can imagine there's been a huge shift in the burden, which is making me grieve a little bit because I really want to be a support to her. So right now I have to just let things be the way they are. Barbara and I, my wife, have been married for almost 40 years. We met in high school, and she was my junior prom date, and we never separated since then. So long friendship between the two of us. And my son is 31, and he is a mental health counselor at Colgate University in Hamilton, New York, and comes home occasionally, and he's just a wonderful boy too. So I got a lot of support. With a diagnosis like I have, it means that every moment has to be cherished and treasured. Barb and I have done a pretty good job with that. I can't say that there aren't periods where there's grief and anxiety and depression, but for the most part, we are going through day to day, trying to keep our traditions. We just had Christmas, and we tried to keep a lot of our traditions. We have dinner together every night and play board games afterwards. So we've tried to keep it simple, but life hasn't changed all that much, other than we know that there's going to be probably less time with each other. But other than that, we're day to day. It's been a joy. It's the small moments that are very special, working out in the garden together, planting things together. We're still dreaming, which is great. We're talking about maybe building onto our home. So we're still moving forward, which is good. As I said, we do a lot of little things that are just fun, games. We went on a vacation this year for the first time in many, many, many years up to Biddeford, Maine, and rented a little cottage on the sea, and it was just a wonderful time together. We brought our dogs, who we love immensely, we're taking each day one step at a time, and we're very, very thankful and feel blessed that the Lord is in our lives and that He is preserving me long enough to have these moments in time. You know? So we're very, very, very pleased at where we're going and what's ahead of us. Our faith journey has been a little different in that I grew up in the church. My family was well grounded in the Bible. My dad and mom used to hold a Bible club for all the neighborhood kids, and a lot of them are grown adults now and still speak about Bible club when they see me. But I grew up in the Baptist church, and I was saved at a very young age. As for my wife, she grew up in the Methodist church, was a little more on the liberal side, and her parents were probably not as schooled in the Bible and the Lord, but they're coming on now. They've joined a church, a new church, and they're definitely growing in their faith. And so Barbara and I are helping them along the faith path right now, which is wonderful. But as I said, I was saved at a very early age, and I feel like I'm grounded, and it's a good thing, because had I gone through all this without the Lord, I don't know where I'd be. I would have been a mess. I'm just very confident right now that He has my plans in His grand design. My relationship with God has changed since my prognosis and diagnosis. I note that I was one of these people that were far out ahead of God in all my plans prior to this. And now I'm holding up and waiting to see where He wants me. But I was very much one of these people that had plans, big plans, and went after them, and hopefully God would follow me. But currently, I'd say that's all been transformed the opposite way. And I'm very pleased to wait on the Lord for where He wants me to go and what He wants me to do. I don't know who is watching this, but if they are believers, I would say get involved in your local church. I have found our local church to be an amazing resource. The people and the resources available for me have helped me tremendously. If you're not a believer, it's got to be very frightening to not have an anchor point. And I would just encourage you with all my heart to get involved in a church and to seek out the Lord, because the invisible is more reality than you would ever believe. So I encourage you, keep searching. I'm going to go make some snow angels.
Let's see it.
Life is good.